Hello, friends, and welcome to Jewels of Truth. My name is Daniel Fontenot, and today we will be discussing how the papacy came to rule the world. That is, during the Dark Ages, or actually, to be exact, from 538 A.D. to 1798 A.D., when it's in 1798 the papacy lost its temporal power. But how did it come to rule all of Europe and Northern Africa and, much of the world? So this is a part of a chapter that I'm reading from the book, as I've read before in this book, the book entitled Facts of Faith by Christian Edwardson. Okay? So here we go. God knows the future, and He has a set time there for every purpose and for every work. Acts 15:18, Ecclesiastes 3, verses 1 and 17. He has also pledged Himself to do nothing that vitally concerns this world, but He revealeth His secret unto His servants the prophets beforehand. And then He holds His servants responsible for warning the world. They are watchmen on the walls of Zion, who should be able to read the signs on God's prophetic clock so they can tell the time and give the warning at the hour of crisis. And when God's hour strikes, He has His agencies in readiness to carry His message to the world. Let's read a few scriptures here along those same lines. 2 Peter 1:19. 2 Peter 1:19. We have also a more sure word of prophecy, whereunto ye do well that ye take heed, as unto a light that shineth in a dark place, until the day dawn and the day star arise in your hearts. And Romans 13:11. Romans 13:11. And that knowing the time, that now it is high time to awake out of sleep, for now is our salvation nearer than when we believed. And that is more true today than ever before. And Matthew chapter 16. Matthew chapter 16 and verses 2 and 3. The Pharisees also with the Sadducees came, and tempting Jesus, that is, desired that He would show them a sign from heaven. Verse 2, He answered and said unto them, When it is evening, ye say, It is fair weather, for the sky is red. We'll continue reading verse 3. And in the morning, it is foul, it will be foul weather today, for the sky is red and lowering. O ye hypocrites, ye can discern the face of the sky, but can ye not discern the signs of the times? A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, and there shall no sign be given unto it but the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and departed. Before the world was destroyed by the flood, Noah warned the people for 120 years. Before the destruction of Sodom, Lot gave the warning message to that wicked city, and before Christ's first coming, John the Baptist heralded the coming of the Messiah. Then why should not so important an event as Christ's second coming be given proper notice, and a warning message be sent to prepare the world for its final destruction? It is true that the world in general has never received favorably any of God's warning messages in former ages, and Christ declares that His final warning will not be heeded any more than His warning sent through Noah and Lot. Yet the message must be given, though there are but few, who receive it. Here is Christ's message for our days. I, Jesus, have sent mine angel to testify unto you these things in the churches. Revelation 22:16. Behold, I come quickly. Blessed is he that keepeth the sayings of the prophecy of this book. Verse 7. Here we see that the message to be given just before Christ's second coming is found in the book of Revelation. This is specifically given in chapter 14, verses 6 through 14. Here is presented the everlasting gospel connected with the warning that the hour of his judgment is come, and an appeal for a return to the loyal worship of the Creator, combined with a warning against the worship of the beast in his image and against taking his mark. Those who receive this message are characterized by the fact that they keep the commandments of God and the faith of Jesus. The very next scene is the Son of Man coming on the cloud to reap the harvest of the earth, and the harvest is the end of the world. The people who give this message to the world must therefore know what is meant by the beast, his image, and his mark. This we find clearly presented in Revelation 13. Let us study this chapter. Okay, so, the mark of the beast, the issue of the mark of the beast and the worship of his image is connected with the end of the world, the events that transpire at the end of the world. So the people who give this message to the world, they will know what is meant by the beast. Who is the beast? And as I have said before, you cannot know what the mark of the beast is unless you know who the beast is. That's just common sense. John saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, Revelation 13:1. The fact that it had 10 horns, the same as the 4th beast of Daniel chapter 7, verses 7, 23, and 24, identify it as a Roman power. The next question to settle will be whether this is Rome in its pagan or in its papal state. The 10 horns represent the 10 European kingdoms into which the Roman Empire was divided between A.D. 351 and 476. On this beast, the horns are crowned, Revelation 13:1. Showing that the empire had been divided, and the rulers of those 10 kingdoms were already crowned. Compare Revelation 12:3. But the Roman Empire became Christianized, Catholic that is, long before it was divided. The beast of Revelation 13, verses 1 through 10, therefore represents papal Rome. Let's go to Revelation 13 here. Let's read that. Revelation 13, we'll start at verse 1. John says, "And I stood upon the sand of the sea, and saw a beast rise up out of the sea, having 7 heads and 10 horns, and upon his horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads the name of blasphemy. And the beast which I saw was like unto a leopard, and his feet were as the feet of a bear, and his mouth as the mouth of a lion. And the dragon gave him his power and his seat and great authority. And I saw one of his heads as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed. And all the world wondered after the beast." So the pagan Rome gave to the papacy its power and his seat and great authority, and eventually in 1798 the head of the papacy was wounded. And eventually it is healed at the end of the world. And all the world wondered after the beast. And they worshiped the dragon, which gave power unto the beast. And they worshiped the beast, the Roman Catholic Church, the papacy, saying, "Who is like unto the beast? Who is able to make war with him?" And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, like the Pope, who was the man of sin, claiming to be God. If you look at 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verses 3 and 4. Blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 40 and 2 months. And 40 and 2 months represent 1260 years, because 42 months is 1260 days, and in Bible prophecy, a day represents a year, according to Ezekiel 4:6 and Numbers 14, and I forgot the verse. Anyway, chapter 14. Continuing on. And he opened his mouth in blasphemy against God, to blaspheme his name and his tabernacle and them that dwell in heaven. And it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations. And anyone who has studied church history or studied the Dark Ages knows that the papacy made war with the saints. Not Catholic saints, made war with true Christians like the Waldenses and others. Protestants also, for 1260 years. And all that dwell upon the earth shall worship him, whose names are not written in the book of the Lamb slain from the foundation of the world. If you are worshiping the papacy, if you are a Catholic, you do not have your name written in the book of life. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. The Catholic Church, the papacy, they led people into captivity, both spiritual and physical, and they killed with the sword, and Catholic priests were killed with the sword during the French Revolution, when the papacy had its deadly wound. Let's continue. The dragon with 10 horns, which represents pagan Rome, gave to the beast his power and his seat and great authority. The seat of the Roman Empire was the city of Rome. How was this given to the papacy? Francis P.C. Haynes, a Roman Catholic, says, now, note, for those of you who want to argue about this, this is a Roman Catholic saying this. His Francis P.C. Hayes, okay, he says, when the Roman Empire became Christian and the peace of the church was guaranteed, the emperor left Rome to the Pope to be the seat of the authority of the Vicar of Christ, who should reign there independent of all human authority to the consummation of ages, to the end of time. And Alexander C. Flick, Ph.D., says, quote, the removal of the capital of the empire from Rome to Constantinople in 330 left the Western Church practically free from imperial power to develop its own form of organization. The Bishop of Rome, in the seat of the Caesars, was now the greatest man in the West and was soon forced to become the political as well as the spiritual head. Unquote. And that's in his book, The Rise of the Medieval Church, page 168. And another from the American Catholic Quarterly Review of April 1911 by the so-called Reverend James P. Conroy. He said, and meekly stepping into the throne of Caesar, the Vicar of Christ, took up the scepter to which the emperors and kings of Europe were to bow in reverence through so many ages. Unquote. But let us consider the other marks used by the Holy Spirit to point out this power. It cannot be a local government confined to a certain country, for all that dwell on the earth shall worship him, Revelation 13:8, and it must be a religious rather than a civil power, for it concerns itself with the worship of the people, verses 4 and 8. There was given unto him a mouth speaking great things, and he was to make war with the saints, and to overcome them, Revelation 13:5 and 7. Just as the little horn of Daniel 7, verses 8, 21, and 25. All this could apply to no other than the papacy. We will end the reading of this book for now. We will take up the reading of this book in a later video. If you agree with this presentation, then by all means tap that like button at the bottom of this video, and if you have any comments or questions, then we would invite you to place them at the bottom of this video. And if you haven't already subscribed, we would invite you to do so. Thank you for joining us here at Jewels of Truth. We hope that you will have a good day in the Lord.